Hello everyone, this is Dan and here's my first app review. Today we have Toontastic, an educational app for the iOS devices such as iPhone and iPad. It is made by Launchpad Toys and can be downloaded for free on the iOS App Store. You can also buy this app, and I will mention the differences between the paid app and the free app as they come up. To make full use of this app's functions, you will need a microphone and a camera. And as a note, because there's a lot of verbal instructions from the video, from the app, I'll be changing volumes pretty frequently. So Toontastic is a fun app that lets you make short animated cartoons. You start with 5 blank panels, which you make into pictures for your story. To help you with that, Toontastic gives you a collection of backgrounds, characters, animations, and sounds you can use to make those panels. You also record your own dialogue for each panel using the microphone. And when you finish, you can save your story, upload it to the internet, or play it back as a short cartoon. And the app makes use of verbal instructions rather than written ones to make usage of this app easier. So here we go. Here's how you start. From here, you'll be shown 5 panels that you'll work into your story.
Let's create a cartoon. A cartoon is an animated story made up of different scenes like a setup, a conflict, a challenge, a climax, and a resolution. Together, these scenes form the story arc, a measure of your story's emotional energy.
And here we have our first bit of instructions about the story arc. The labels on each panel help the user of the app decide what to put on each panel as the story moves from left to right. You can make the story shorter by reducing the number of panels, and to do that you can just delete panels. Here you go, successfully, and here now you have a 4-panel story. You can also make the story longer by adding panels down here. So now we add this, and there we go. And you have to keep in mind, you can only put up to 6 panels in this story, so keep your story down to 6 panels. To actually start working on a panel, you highlight the panel.
The conflict, where you create a problem for your main character. The setup, where you introduce the characters and the story setting.
You press the paintbrush to actually start editing.
The first step in building your scene is to create the setting, where your scene will take place.
As the app told us, you first create the setting where the story takes place. Here we have a San Francisco-like background with the Golden Gate and all, and the tram here, the cable car tracks. Here's one of the first differences between the paid app and the free app. With the free app, you only have access to this setting, the Bay City RoboQuake, the San Francisco-like setting, and a blank one here. You can these settings have to be unlocked with purchases. So these are one of the items that you get with the by paying for the app. If you're ambitious, you can actually use this function of the app to either draw the backgrounds, or use the camera to take a snapshot of the background. Here, for example, is a rolling hillside made of a purple line that I did earlier. Not the greatest. That's why we're gonna stick with the pre-packaged background. In this case, we'll work with Bay City RoboQuake. So let's select it.
Cool. Now tap the forward arrow to move on.
And we move on to characters.
Which characters would you like to be in your scene?
Here's the other difference between the paid app and the free app. You have access to 3 characters with the free app, and the rest are unlocked with purchases. Just like with backgrounds, you can also draw your own characters or just take snapshots. So we're gonna try the robot for this scene.
Great. Now you can add more characters or move on by tapping the forward arrow. Now it's time to animate your scene. Touch the Start Animation button when you're ready, and you can move your characters on screen. Remember to speak up so the microphone can record your story.
Now here's where we actually start recording and creating animations. You can move your character anywhere on the screen, and he does a little walking animation when you do this. You can actually orient him, change his size, or do their own little animations by tapping them. So if you tap him, he shoots his eye beams. You can also move each limb as part of the animation. And if you're really dexterous, you can actually move multiple limbs at once. When you press the start button, it starts recording all the motions, all the movement that you're doing with the character, and all the dialogue, everything you speak will be recorded. So let's give it a try.
Tell your story. 3, 2, 1, action.
Hello, I'm a robot. Look at me wave. Hello, I'm a robot. Look at me wave. I think that was pretty good. Let's move on.
This is the music page, where you can give your scene a little more emotional energy. Try moving your scene up and down and pick out an emotion that fits the mood.
Here is where you can add your background music and to show how you feel about the scene. And you have clear labels such as friendly, happy, surprised, frustrated, sad, and nervous to accompany the soundtrack. Let's go with happy. As you might have noticed, you can also move the picture up and down, and it increases the intensity of the emotion, which is really cool. The only downside here I can think of is that it would have been nice to be able to record your own music for your background music, but can't win them all. So let's move on. The next part will finalize our panel. Now, at this point, we will actually move on to our next panel of our multi-panel story, but you can stop at any time you want. Let's stop for now. We'll give the title, we'll give the movie a name, so let's call it Test Movie, directed by me, Dan. We'll not share this online, and done. Now let's watch it. There will be some advertisements that will always run when you watch the movies you created. I don't know if they are present when you pay for this app, or whether this is only occurs when you download the free app. That was one of those advertisements. Hello, I'm a robot. Look at me wave. And that was just a one panel story. I've actually made a 5 panel story ahead of time that we can watch, so we'll check out how it looks like when it's all done. So here's my 5 panel story. I have already laid out what happens in each of them, record my dialogue, and done my background music. Oh my, what a day. How come my garage door opener doesn't work? Gadzooks, what are you supposed to be? I'm the garage door opener. Smash. Garage smash. Wachoo. That's not a garage. Put it down. Crikey, this can't be happening. Smash. Good. What was that? Looks like someone has been playing with the wrong remote. Let's skip the credits. Alright. All in all, this was a fun little app to get those creative ideas out of your head and onto the screen. Best of all, you're not limited by the app's library of characters and backgrounds, and you can actually draw everything from scratch or use the camera if you have one available. And that's what makes this so great. Even if you're downloading this for free, you still have quite a few options to work with. In the classroom or for student support, this app can be used to teach storytelling skills. A student could use this app to learn or practice to use basic sentences to describe settings, characters, and time. And it's eye-catching, which makes it useful for children that have difficulty with language, such as such as SLI or ASD. In the case of SLI, since instructions are given verbally and can be repeatedly replayed, so you can always hear the instructions again, the student can focus on creating their story. And in a small group setting, I'm visualizing one activity here. This app can be used by one student to describe their story to a second student, a listener, and the listener would have to translate and visualize the speaker's ideas into a cartoon. And they'd have to deal with things such as idiomatic expressions and things like that. And with the help of a parent or a teacher, the child can also demonstrate their understanding of a social story by creating one of their own using the 5 or 6 panel setup from this app. Now, this is where students with ASD could benefit from using this app, particularly with the social stories, in that pre-made social stories can be used in this program, and they can be used to this app can be used to tell the social story to for the ASD student, but also the ASD student could use this app to either create their own social stories or express their understanding of one, or come up with their own social stories. And this could have other effects that are useful for ASD students, such as joint attention, where the ASD student would find someone else to share this experience with. So, this has been my review for Toontastic, and hope you like it, and see you later.